So now I'm ready to do just a straight stitch. So you can either use the foot control, or there is a start-stop button on the machine. And over on the side of the machine, there's actually a manual speed control where you can adjust the speed up or down. So I'm going to leave it at top speed and use my foot control. And oh, great, it came up with a message. It's telling me that the IDT is not set according to the recommendation for the stitch. So I didn't look here. We need to use OA foot and engage the IDT. This is also known as a built-in walking foot. And to engage it, there's a black piece of plastic right back here. I just pull that down and forward, and that engages that IDT technology. Okay, I'm going to use my needle down position. I really like to use that. So you can see over here all of the active features we have going on. We're using stitch 111, speed at 100%. The active stitch technology is activated. We're using the straight stitch needle plate, so it's smart enough to know when you have that on. It has automatically set the stitch width safety for us. I have activated needle down, and it's showing that the IDT is active. So it's a pretty smart machine, smarter than I am sometimes, I think. Okay, so just doing a nice straight stitch. And the scissors are on the machine right here, so I'm going to use that to cut my thread. And there we go. We've got a beautiful straight stitch. The next thing I want to show you is how to change your stitch position. Sometimes you want to be able to move that stitch over. Because I have the straight stitch needle plate on and stitch width safety is activated, I can't do that right now. So I need to change stitch plates. So the easiest way to get the stitch plate off is to open the bobbin cover. So I'm just going to use this little button and pull it to the right, and it pops off the bobbin cover. And I use either a screwdriver, or in this case I'm using my tweezers to pop that straight stitch needle plate off. The other thing I'm going to do is change my bobbin case again, because I'm changing from a straight stitch. I'm going to be using other stitches. So I'm going to put in the regular bobbin case that's not designed just for the straight stitches. So after I put the bobbin case in here, I need to put this little piece back down, add the stitch plate, make sure my thread's out of the way, and press that down. Now I can put my bobbin in, and again get that thread into the gap in the bobbin case, hold on to the bobbin and click that thread into the tension, there it went, and wind it around the guide and into the cutter, and put the stitch plate cover or the bobbin case cover on, and there we go. So when I took the single needle stitch plate off, the straight stitch needle plate off, the machine recognized that because it's got a sensor that can tell when that happens, and it's telling me that I can touch OK to turn off stitch width safety, or touch cancel if I want to keep the stitch width safety on there. I know I'm going to want to move my needle around and use some wider stitches, so I'm going to touch OK to turn the stitch width safety off. Stitch width safety off. Okay, so now you can see that we only have active stitch technology, the needle down, and IDT active. So when I go into Stitch Edit now, I have not only the stitch length that I can adjust, but I also have the needle position. So when I have a straight stitch or a stitch that is less than 9 millimeters wide, I can adjust the needle position on the machine so that the stitches will stitch in a different place. So I'm going to go ahead, and I've got needle down activated. I'm going to sew for about 1 inch here, and then I'm going to actually raise my needle this time so that I can move the needle over, let's see, I'm going to go about to 2.0 so you can see the difference. And then I'm going to move it back to 0.0. It's going to turn, the numbers are going to turn white, so that's how I know that I'm back at the default position, is when the numbers are in white. As I start to go the other direction, the numbers turn lime green. And so I'm going to go on up to 2.0 the other way, and then I'm going to start stitching. And then I'm going to go back to the default, which is 0.0. And if I'm not sure, then until the numbers turn white, trim my thread. And there you can see that I was able to move my needle position as needed. Okay, so that's a straight stitch.